Welcome back, Culés. Big drama is unfolding at FC Barcelona in the final stretch of the summer transfer window. The future of Fermín López hangs in the balance, with Chelsea pushing hard to sign him for a massive fee, while Barca weigh the financial benefits against the wishes of Hansi Flick. On top of that, registration issues, possible exits, and injury problems with Ter Stegen are keeping the board under pressure. In today's video, we'll break down the latest updates, rumors, and official news surrounding Barcelona, including what could be one of the biggest decisions of the summer. Barcelona star Fermín López has been at the center of the headlines this week, following interest from Chelsea. The Blaugrana have been touting a move for several of their players this summer, but in contrast to Ronald Araujo, Andreas Christensen, or Marc Casado, López does have an attractive offer to leave the club. The Blues are reportedly willing to get close to Barcelona's asking price of €70 million for López, 22, who has been offered the chance to double or triple his salary in London, with a reported €15 million per annum deal on the table. They would also offer him a bigger role than he currently has at Barcelona. Barcelona's position on Fermín López is quite straightforward. They won't force him out, but they won't stand in his way either. If the midfielder decides he wants to leave, Director of Football Deco is ready to sit down with Chelsea to negotiate terms. Selling López would ease Barca's ongoing salary cap struggles, though it would go against the wishes of manager Hansi Flick. There are even whispers that a recent dressing room dispute ended with one teammate suggesting López should be sold. According to reports, Barca have given the 22-year-old just 48 hours to make up his mind, with the deadline set for today, Thursday. If López gives the green light, Chelsea are prepared to make an official bid. That said, the Blues are also keeping their options open, holding talks over Alejandro Garnacho and Xavi Simons. However, journalist Guillem Balag has clarified that Chelsea are unlikely to meet Barcelona's full asking price. Instead of the €58 million to €70 million figures being mentioned, their proposal is expected to be closer to €50 million. At the moment, all signs point to López leaning towards staying at Barcelona rather than pushing for the Premier League switch. However, Sport report that López is edging towards remaining at Barcelona. "I want to say," has been uttered to his closest circle, even though he is weighing up the pros and cons of the decision, while MDs say that all possibilities are on the table. It seems that leaning will be made into a definitive call before the end of the day. Barcelona are spending the final days of the transfer window attending to exits rather than major signings, but one sale that could alter matters is that of Fermín López. The 22-year-old attacking midfielder is considering a move to Chelsea. The Blaugrana have still been unable to register Wojciech Szczesny, Gerard Martin and Rooney Bargi, despite the exit of Inaki Peña this week. Negotiations are ongoing for the departures of teenage winger Jan Virgili, Oriol Romeu and young defender Hector Fort, albeit the latter could be on loan. The hope is that their exits will allow the trio above to be registered. However, if López were to go, then Barcelona would have no issues in doing so. His exit, were they to get the €70 million asking price they desire, would free up around €45 million in their salary limit. Barcelona plans if Fermín López leaves. Barcelona have no intention of looking for a replacement for López in the transfer market if he does leave. Instead, the Catalan giants will turn to teenage midfielder Dro Fernandez to fill his absence, as per MD. The 17-year-old impressed during pre-season, and has caught the eye of Hansi Flick this summer. The club and the coaching staff feel he is ready to make the jump should a spot in the squad open up. Strong options behind the striker. Of course, part of the reason that López might consider an exit is the strong competition for his spot anyway. Dani Olmo is in theory the de facto starter behind the striker, but Pedri, Gavi, Rafinha can all play there. Could Barcelona go in a different direction? If there is space in their salary limit, it has been suggested that Barcelona could make a late move to strengthen their defense in the closing days of the window. Director of Football Deco was recently seen meeting with the agents of two longtime Barcelona targets, and manager Hansi Flick lost Íñigo Martínez unexpectedly during the transfer window. Barcelona goalkeeper Marc-André Ter Stegen has once again found himself at the heart of Germany's national team debate, despite missing the latest international call-up due to injury. The 33-year-old shot-stopper, currently sidelined, will not be available for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Slovakia and Northern Ireland, forcing Julian Nagelsmann to make a tough decision in his absence. Nagelsmann confirmed that Oliver Baumann of Hoffenheim will step in as Germany's temporary number 1, with Alexander Nübel and Finn Dahmen completing the goalkeeping list. Ter Stegen will be number 1. Interestingly, even while announcing Baumann as the starter, the German coach was keen to stress that Ter Stegen remains central to his plans. We're happy with all the goalkeepers including Marc-André Ter Stegen, and that's why we chose them because they're also good at building up play, Nagelsmann said. Our number one will be Oliver Baumann. He'll be our number one until Marc hopefully returns safely. The statement underlines what has been clear for some time: Germany's goalkeeping hierarchy remains in flux until Ter Stegen is back. The Barcelona star has long lived in the shadow of Manuel Neuer on the international stage, but in recent years he has increasingly pushed for recognition as the natural successor. While Baumann has been rewarded for years of consistency in the Bundesliga, Nagelsmann's words made it evident that the national team is simply waiting for Ter Stegen to regain full fitness. This also highlights that the national team is not banking on the return of Manuel Neuer from retirement. The coach's assurance that the Barcelona captain is still firmly in his plans suggests that once he returns, the debate over Germany's true number one will ignite again, this time with Ter Stegen expected to take center stage. Source: Mundo Deportivo. A significant transfer fee, it is something that the report suggests Barca would definitely have to consider if an offer materializes. Moreover, due to the club's current financial situation, perhaps a sale like that makes sense for the Catalan giants strictly from a financial perspective. According to Fischages, selling Andreas Christensen could give Barcelona the financial breathing room needed to keep Fermín López, despite the heavy interest from Chelsea. But in reality, Christensen's exit looks unlikely. With Íñigo Martínez already leaving for Al Nassr earlier this summer, Barca would risk weakening their defensive line too much by allowing another centre-back to depart. Christensen remains an important piece of Hansi Flick's setup, both in terms of experience and balance at the back. On the pitch, things look much brighter for the Catalans. Barca have kicked off their 2025-26 La Liga campaign in style, winning their first two games, including a dramatic comeback victory over Levante. Still, behind the scenes, Joan Laporta and Deco face pressing decisions before the transfer window closes, as they try to find the right balance between sporting needs and financial realities. The likes of Gerard Martin, Wojciech Szczesny, and Rooney Bargi are yet to be registered in La Liga, and Hansi Flick hasn't been able to count on them in the opening couple of encounters. Now, as per Sport, Oriol Romeu's exit this week holds the key to facilitating these operations, especially the registration of Martin. Flick wants the Spaniard at his disposal sooner rather than later. Gerard is a versatile player capable of playing both as a left-back and a centre-back. With Íñigo Martínez's exit, it has left Barcelona one option light in defense, and it comes as no surprise that Flick wants Martin registered. Meanwhile, Rooney had an excellent preseason under Hansi Flick. He is a valuable squad option who can come off the bench and offer something different when Barcelona desperately need a goal, like they did against Levante. The report mentions that Romeu and Barcelona are still working towards a contract termination for the veteran. He has no future at the club and wants to move elsewhere to continue his career. The next few days could thus prove to be pivotal in Barcelona's registration saga. The sooner they get it done, the better it is for them. Let's wait and see how it plays out. This summer transfer window is far from over and FC Barcelona are well aware of that. Thus, the Catalan giants will look to make as much use of it as possible. After all, there is much work still left to be done by Barcelona beyond just signing new players. The signing of Marcus Rashford was a big step forward for Barcelona, but the club still has to solve its registration issues before the new season. After all, new arrivals won't make a difference if they can't be officially registered with La Liga. This is why transfer exits remain a key part of Barca's summer strategy. Even smaller moves could prove important in creating the financial margin needed to register new players. One of the cases being monitored is Iñaki Peña. The goalkeeper is considering his future and has been linked with a possible departure. Still, his professionalism has never been in doubt. According to Mundo Deportivo, manager Hansi Flick plans to include the 26-year-old in the squad for the upcoming preseason tour of Asia, a clear sign of his commitment to the team for now. Unless a major offer arrives, Peña will continue to fulfill his role with the squad. An enticing offer could change things. However, the situation could possibly change if a new and irresistible offer arrives for the player. So far, however, that has not been the case, and it is reported by MD that the current offers that have come his way have not exactly met his expectations. Still, despite an exit looking likely for him, Flick wants to respect his professional contract and is confident enough about his commitment to the club for the time being. However, with the arrival of Joan Garcia and the recent renewal of Wojciech Szczesny's contract, Peña's future at the club remains questionable. So Culés, what do you think? Should Barcelona cash in on Fermín López for €70 million and solve their financial issues, or should they keep him as part of Hansi Flick's project? And with Chelsea circling, how will this transfer saga end before the window closes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading and replying to as many as I can. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any breaking Barca updates.